Like, you got to bring it as a race director. You got to bring it if you want to, like, build a following and build a big race for a long time and fill the stands, as they say. Sell out.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out a way to implement, like, more boobs.
That drives traffic always.
That's the only thing I can think of pretty much all the time.
Welcome back to the next aid station. I am your host, Jake Kilgore. My dog, Mick Garrison.
What's up, Jake Kilgore?
What's up, man? Welcome, Kombucha, Rockstar. Rockstar been coming through.
Dude, they're badass.
Yep. And my weekend was fantastic. But, dude, how was yours?
Oh, I was like, no one asked. My weekend was great.
You know, I crossed the finish line of the Twisted Fork 30K holding a Rockstar in my hand. My sister handed it to me 100 yards before the finish. And then just this morning, I was thinking about that story, and I'm like, I took aid before
I was just gonna
the
say.
crewable aid station at the finish line.
And now you lose your women's podium.
Yes. We're going to dive right into my weekend with that. But, dude, I would like to hear your weekend first because I think you got a story for the people.
I had a very unexpected event happen. I went to the track and field event at Farmington High for the kids, doing some shot put, doing some 400-meter races. It was fun. Hot. So we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden they're like, over the PA, they're like, hey, and now we have a surprise race. The parents are going to come over here and do a 100-meter race, 100-meter dash to see who the fastest man in the world is.
And they're like, never mind, we'll run a mile.
So I'm like, no, dude. Like I was fast in high school, and I'm thinking, I don't know, I could probably beat them, but
You were sizing up the competition.
no, I didn't.
You're
know
like lane 1.
I didn't know what parents were gonna.
Dad bod. Lane 2. Dad bod.
Yeah, some of that later, but in the moment, I'm like, I didn't know who was going to accept this challenge.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I will for sure pull a hammy. I'm 47,
100%.
bro. So, but I got, you know how I coach Little League football?
Mm-hmm.
So I got little football players there, and my kids, and Jen and her family, they're all there. So
The peer pressure.
well, I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And then they're just looking at me like, yeah, you're doing this.
Come on, Coach Mick.
So anyway, I'm like, all right, let's go. My heart rate went up.
When you committed,
As soon as I committed, I was like, filling the juices.
did you have to hit the porta potty?
Nope, that's you.
Yep.
So I went out there and freaking did this 100-meter race, bro.
From the live footage that I saw, was it live? Was it live streamed?
It was live when it happened.
Okay.
No.
Well, you smoked those fools.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any women in the 100-meter, or was it just dudes?
It was just dudes. They tried to get Jen to go do it, but she declined.
Rude. She
Yeah.
probably would have beat you.
So, yeah, I went out there and I ran as hard as I could, and I smoked them.
There is a 0% chance anyone gets me to sprint 100 meters right now. I don't care how warmed up I am. I'm pulling a hammy. I'm pulling a hip flexor.
Well, that's what happened to me. I pulled I'm
Strained.
okay now. I strained my left hip flexor. I was like, afterwards, guys were coming up to me. They're like, "Oh, stellar performance," and I'm like, "Yeah, man."
Did the race director hug you at the end when you?
That's
passed?
why I did it. That's
For
why
the-
I was
for the
there.
clout.
Man. Yeah. No, but it hurt. I was like, I haven't done that in years,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't do it again.
And anyone that follows the Jake Kilgore on Instagram saw that I did a mile as hard as I could at the track, and I was nervous that I was going to pull something even in a mile. I was like, I haven't strided and stretched that hard. I'm like, I'm going to get hurt.
Yeah.
There's no shot, dude. I don't think I'd even do a 400 meter right now. Just, I would be concerned I'd pull something.
To go as hard as you can.
Yes.
Like my body, like I work out every day. I feel like I'm in pretty good shape. It doesn't matter. When you get to be this age, you can't sprint like that.
Dude, speaking of the 100 meter, I didn't have this on my notes, but it reminded me. Your story. I don't know if you saw this over the weekend, but my flag football draft pick of Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Did you see that he raced a 100 meter dash?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Bro, it was like a 10.16 or 10.18.
Didn't he race, what's his name, the dude that won the gold medal?
No, he held a sign up.
No, he did. He raced him.
He was Noah?
Yes.
I thought he was
Look it
just
up,
I
Scott.
thought he was just calling Noah out like
I'm pretty sure they raced and Noah beat him.
No. I watched the race, and whoever was in the race, Tyreek won. And then he held a sign up that was like he was calling out Noah. Like he wanted to race him.
I thought that the Noah race happened. And
No, Noah ain't racing Tyreek. And Noah's like a sub 10 all day long anyway. But yeah, Tyreek smoked it, dude.
I did see some of this.
He smoked it, bro. Yeah.
Oh, so it didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. So he went and did it full speed, ran a 10.15 or something, and then literally held a sign up, bro, and called out.
Oh, so I'm a victim of the clips.
Yes, you are.
Damn it.
Yep. So in other news, I'm going to get to my weekend later because my weekend was very much filled with Twisted Fork, and we're going to cover the Twisted Fork recap. And Finn asked me for my feedback as a race director.
Nice.
So we get to give him all the feedback he wants on his race.
Great.
How was your Father's Day, Mick? Did you go see your dad?
Yes. It was good.
I went and saw my dad's.
Yeah, I was going to call my dad. I went through my phone again, and I couldn't find his number.
What about his address? Just swing by his house.
Yeah, I don't know where that is either. Don't even know if he's alive. But happy Father's Day, Dad. Love you.
Love you, Dad. This is my happy Father's Day to my dad. I think there's 7 or 8 S's.
You do have
there.
a lot of dads.
I got like 7 or 8 dads, and we just share.
Would you mind if I was your next dad? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you got my text.
Dor, what's up?
Nick's going to be my daddy. All right. In other news, it would not be a summer of Next Aid Station if we didn't cover just a tiny bit of the NBA. And the only thing I'm going to say...
Boring.
The only thing I'm going to say this week is Jay-Z, the East Coast rapper, your boy.
My boy.
Your boy Jay-Z.
Huge Jay-Z guy.
Yep. Bro, Jay-Z bet $1 million that OKC would win it in 5 games.
Oh. Whoops.
Wah, wah.
Thanks, Tyrese Halliburton, for that game 1.
Yep. So Jay-Z lost $1 million, which is like us betting $100, I think. So 0 people feel bad.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's cool. He probably didn't even lose an ounce of sleep. But he did lose $1 million. So good job on that, Jay-Z. Hey, Jay-Z, next time you need betting advice, come to the Next Aid Station. We got you. I think the Pacers win on Thursday, and this thing goes 7. What do you think?
No.
It's done in 6?
Yep. OKC wraps it up.
So as you can see, Jay-Z, you have options. You can go with Mick or you can go with me. Just don't do what you did on your own.
He's not watching anymore. He's out. He lost.
He subscribed.
Well, not to ours. I'm saying he's to the NBA.
Oh. I thought you were saying he wasn't listening to the show.
I did hear that he paid off a bunch of radio stations and stuff to play his wife's country songs and like bought her Grammy.
Beyonce?
Yeah.
We will play Beyonce all day long on the Next Aid Station. Just write a check.
No, not listening to her pretend to do
If Jay-Z walked in here with a check, you're not playing her country music?
Sure, I would. I'd be like, Dude, I love it.
Yes.
What song's your favorite? The third one?
That one? That one. You know, you see the shoes I'm wearing today, Mick?
Yep.
Let me show
Did you wear those?
Let me show the people.
Did you wear those in Twisted Fork?
Let me tell the story.
Okay.
I am a Hoka Speed Goat fan. Been wearing them for years at every distance. The Twisted Fork 30K is the first race I have ran shorter than a marathon in a decade. The last race I ran less than a marathon was the Jupiter Peak steeplechase in 2015. So I didn't really know if I should wear Speed Goats or not. And so I wore these shoes to work on Friday, and Mick looked at me in disgust and was like, if you wear those tomorrow, I quit. And I was like, you quit what?
Everything.
He threw it all in. So no, I didn't want Mick to quit, so I didn't wear these.
Yeah, you don't wear new shoes, not even the brand that you like, on a race day. You have no issues. No, none with your shoes. None.
My race.
My rules.
My rules. I will wear what I want.
No.
So you are right. So I didn't wear them. I shelved them. But if anyone saw a picture of me or saw me running, I fell twice in 1 mile. I've never fallen in a race, ever. I fall once a year, maybe on training runs. Bro, I fell twice. I fell at mile 12, caught myself with my left hand, scraped it. Less than a mile later, I looked at my watch. It was 12.88. I fell hard and slid on my left shoulder and my left hip a good 5 feet.
Oh, damn.
Dust everywhere. So if I was wearing these shoes, you would have blamed the shoes. Now
Yes,
what?
Bro, I would have.
You would have for sure.
Uh-huh.
And I would have.
Yeah. But now it's just that happens in trail running.
That happens. My right hand was holding a water bottle and it scraped the ground, which saved my hand. But it tore the, like, you know how it has like a cover on your hand to like hold the bottle? It ripped it. And my left side is dirty. My right side, I'm carrying a water bottle now for the last like 6 miles. That was an experience. It was great. I popped up.
Inexperience.
It was an experience.
Oh.
As in like, yeah, that was something.
Did you get hurt?
No, I got a tiny little this and that, but no injuries, nothing.
A little niggle?
I wasn't even bleeding. I got a little niggle on my left hip. Got a little raspberry niggle on my trizizzle. on my tricep. But yeah, it was fun, dude. I'll tell you, dude. Twisted Fork has festival in the name, like their spring festival. I think it says summer, something like that.
Meaning they're doing a fall one too.
Meaning they're probably doing a fall one. I don't know. But when I read festival, I read party and culture and vibes. And it was every freaking bit of that, dude. The way they finish in this like a little tiny little like cart path run. And then it like park at an outdoor mallish vibe. Awesome.
Nice.
Music, live, like MC, calling your name. It was cool. I was very, very impressed with the whole thing.
And it was year one.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Year one. So I've got a couple questions on that.
Good job, Finn.
But before we jump into that, Sarah Cummings and Caleb Esme win the bear tags from the Twisted Fork 69K. And Sarah Kraut and Zach Garner respectively win women's, men's Squaw Peak 50. So the Bear 100 bear tags are all set. And Sarah Cummings, Sarah Kraut, and Zach, massive. They are going to level that race up to where I think what we said last week was the Bear 100 is potentially the best race in the state of Utah, with the bear tag being implemented this last year.
That's nice.
Caleb Esme actually ended up, I guess Adam Loomis turned down the bear tag. I messaged him, and he carries my sentiment, which I cannot argue with. He was like, he did the Bear 100, had a fantastic experience, and he's like, there's just so many races that I want to do. I don't want to commit to anything, and to commit to 100, you got to be all in. I can't just commit to it and then not be all in. But he very much wants to just race a bunch of new stuff.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Does that mean that he's not going to come race Grant Barnett at DC Peaks?
Sounds like a no. Sounds like he got his one and done, set the course record, and he was happy. He loved our course, loved the experience, but he's going to keep doing new stuff, which
But he did.
I agree.
He kind of mentioned a 100-miler, so 50's nothing for him. So
yeah, and it feels like he can do any distance clearly, but I think that 50K to 50 mile is like his jam.
very David Sinclair of him.
Yes. And Caleb Esme, I don't know much about him, but the ticket did roll down to him, and he accepted. So it looks like the field is set for the Bear 100, and they've got a ton of competition. So excited to roll into September when that all comes up.
Cool.
White Pine 50 is the only bear tag race remaining, and that race is in August, and the male and female winners will get invites to the Bear 100. So
it's not set.
It's not set. My bad. We still got White Pine 50. So,
Well, hey, what happened? What did we decide, or what did Cody decide on DC Peaks?
DC Peaks started the bear tag.
Oh, we're the first ones.
So
'cause
we're the
it's
first
a couple weeks after.
Yeah.
My confusion was that when we were looking at doing the 100, we were going to move it up before the bear.
Yeah.
I see. I got it.
Yep. So DC Peaks 2024 got bear tags for the 25 Bear 100. As promised, sir, I did a little research this weekend in follow-up to our Stephanie Case story.
Oh, yeah. Your brother?
Trampolines and vaginas.
Hell yeah.
And I went to lunch with my brother, and I showed him.
I thought you were going to say like your search history.
No. And I started telling him about it, and his face, I wish we had him on the podcast to capture his face. It was amazing. The cube, he says, is it's called a pessary. And it's very common medical device for prolapse or like a sagging bladder, uterus. Like, it's very common. It's not just for athletes. They use it all the time. And I was like, well, okay, cool. So that makes sense, right? Like, you can get some leakage and you don't want to be chafing and all this stuff. So to not be too descriptive, that's actually like medically, he was like, yeah, that actually makes sense. I'm like, so can you describe the trampoline incident? What were they trying to simulate? He's like, I cannot think of a good reason to do that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, and then he goes, I don't know, man. The French.
Okay, thank you. Because you remember me saying, I'm like, this is not something that the doctor could just check in the exam room.
Right. He's like, my only guess would be you're just trying to simulate the running motion and how much things might be moving around and or sagging or leaking, and then you use the pessary as like, as a medical device. He's like, I don't know, man.
Well, guess what? It worked. They were right.
They were right. She won.
Yeah.
Or I should say she won. Yeah, dude. So yeah, that was interesting. I got a little background.
Okay, good job.
Here's a story. Nina Kuzik was the first official female winner of the Boston Marathon. Because if you remember the Boston story,
They wouldn't let a woman in.
yeah, the one woman like jumped in and ran it as like someone else's name. So she officially was the first. So this Nina Kuzik was officially the first one who they let in and the first winner. She died over the weekend at 86.
Oh, okay.
So our condolences to Nina and family.
Shout out. I like it.
Shout out. And I felt like it was a great story and shout out because also this weekend, new rules for the Boston Marathon. Have you seen this?
I saw it.
Okay. So for the listeners who have not seen this, this is interesting running news.
I think it's a good call.
I agree. So the news is this. If the Boston qualifying courses are now handicapped if they have 1,500 feet or more of descent from start to finish. So if it's from 1,500 to 2,900 feet of drop in the race, there's a 5-minute, quote unquote, penalty to your time for qualifying for Boston. If it's 3,000 to 5,900 feet, 10 minutes added to your time when it comes to like qualifying for Boston.
Yep.
And if there's more than 6,000 feet of drop in your course, you can't even put in. You don't even, it is no longer a Boston qualifying course.
Do you know how many of those there are that are getting kicked out?
No, I don't. But I did do a little research on the most common fast courses around here that we all run.
Charleston and
Yep.
Big Cottonwood.
Big Cottonwood Canyon, according to my quick research, has about 5,000 feet of drop.
So it's still in, but there's a handicap.
5,185 feet of drop.
Yeah, you're going all the way down Big Cottonwood.
Ogden Marathon has 1,100 feet of drop.
No.
So no penalty for Ogden. St. George has a 2,500 foot drop.
Okay, they're
5 minutes
they're
there.
Oh, St. George, isn't that the most qualifying race?
Which is why, because it's been around forever and it's 2,500 feet.
I don't know
descent.
if it is everywhere, but like in
It's
Utah.
one of the highest, yeah. Has been for a long time, for decades. And then the big boy around here that everyone goes to is Mount Charleston in Nevada.
Yep.
According to this quick research I did, it has a net drop of 5,149 feet.
Okay, so they're still in as well.
But 10 minutes added to your time.
Yeah, that's something. Well, there's too many people trying to get in, right?
I don't know what the issue is, but I do agree with a quote unquote penalty because you've got to all the races, everyone's coming up with the fastest downhill course just to get to Boston. And then they keep adjusting the times, making them faster and faster when the Boston Marathon only has a drop of like 450 feet.
Yeah.
Plus, bro, it has, let me see, it has a net 459 because it actually, Boston drops 1,275, okay? It has that much downhill, but it also has 815 feet of climbing. So it nets out. So you got the downhill and the uphill in Boston, which makes that course iconically awesome. But it's at the end of the day, it's only a net 459 feet descent.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Yes. So what I do know about like college cross country, they tried like qualifying for nationals, for like the NCAA finals and for nationals and championships. They adjust everyone's time based on the elevation of where you run. So like Weber State has a bunch of fast runners. They get like an extra second or two, depending on the distance they're running, to level it out for someone racing for, in Oceanside or something.
Okay.
Because to qualify for nationals and things, you got to hit a certain time, and then you get to go race against everybody. Well, Boston's the same thing. So they're like, okay, we got to do something to like level the playing field, or just we're comparing apples and oranges at this point.
Well, it's got to be because there was just so many damn people signing up. They're like getting overwhelmed.
I'm sure that's a part of it. I'm sure there are race directors who manage big races who maybe they aren't getting the following because it is a Boston qualifier, but people are like, I don't want to go run that and not qualify, it's too flat. I won't qualify. So it could be from all angles.
Yeah.
At the same time, this past weekend, I think it was the Little Cottonwood Canyon half marathon.
Oh yeah, we ran that.
Wasn't it little, Scott?
Yeah, it's the Drop 13.
It's called the Drop 13.
We ran that together.
We ran it, and we ran it. It's fast. It's
steeper than Big Cottonwood.
yeah, it's a half marathon, and anyone that follows anything on social probably saw this. Truett Hanes runs a hour 6 and wins it.
Oh, flying.
Look, man, like, because Camille Toe is a whistleblower of sports, I think Truett is going to get DQ'd.
Why?
Well, because it's a half marathon and it had 3,000 feet of descent. So, extrapolated over a marathon, it had 6,000 feet of descent, and he is disqualified.
Oh, well, didn't he just run Boston?
Yeah.
I think he'll be okay.
Yeah. Bro, he ran it in his jeans, and he runs a 106, and then this comes out like the day later, and I'm like,
Why does he do that? Is he sponsored by them?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to ever wear jeans while I'm running. I can't even, like, the idea.
I don't wear them ever. I don't wear them to the office.
No. I'm not, like, the idea of wearing a collared shirt or a tie, kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Bro.
Jeans?
No. Well, if it's cold, I'm certainly not going to run a marathon in them.
Or a half marathon in a 106 in jeans?
He is fast.
Yeah.
There's that steep hill that you got to climb.
Oh, right at the end. Yeah.
It's not very long, but it's
Just a little something.
it's juicy.
Yeah.
He just charged up that.
Yep. So, shout out to Truett, but who cares? You ran a freaking 106, and then some idiot is going to be a sports whistleblower and be like, yeah, but it was all downhill.
Yeah, but what is he gaining from it? Who cares?
Who cares? It's pretty rad.
I think it's awesome.
It's a cool story. So, anyway, I end up running the Twisted Fork this weekend. Had a great experience, and I crossed the finish line with this rock star. And then I was really hoping that nobody saw my illegal move and DQ'd me. And then I got home and I was like, I didn't get a finisher's medal from Finn. And maybe they DQ'd me.
Wait, you didn't get one?
I didn't. I thought about it like 2 days later, and I was like, oh, because I saw someone's picture. So I don't know if they did medals or what are those little things you set on your desk? What's that called? Trophy? Finisher's trophy?
Sure.
I will say this. That is going to stick out in my mind for a very long time, Twisted Fork. Underneath this amazing Italian jacket that I'm wearing.
See.
I got this jacket in Italy years ago. And I was like, of course I'm wearing it today because we're covering Lavaredo. Underneath this jacket, I have what I will say is, to date, my favorite race shirt I have ever received.
Okay, whose is it?
Twisted Fork.
Oh, just barely?
Yes. Goreware gave them their shirts. It's a Goreware like running shirt.
Oh, like let me get in on this.
Come rub me down real quick. Feel that, dog. Underneath. A little bit lower. It's
I'm not
awesome.
sure.
I'll tell you right now.
I'm not sure.
This is 100 times better than the DC Peak shirt.
You're an idiot.
It is.
No, it's not.
We got to level up our game, dude.
Did you like the Speed Goat ones?
Yes, that's like these, dude. Like breathable. I'm going to run in it. DC Peaks, I don't run in that DC Peak shirt. I wear it to the office. I wear it around. This is a running shirt, dude. Workout shirt. Sweat shirt.
Felt a little
Sweat
rough.
shirt. You didn't feel low enough.
It was like Carhartt.
No, dude. This.
Oh, you weren't talking about your underwear. My
no,
bad.
I was talking about the shirt.
Let me redo this.
Yeah, feel it here. Look at this, bro. This shirt is tough. It's actually, I'm telling you, it is if Finn did one thing right, Goreware and his shirt.
He crushed on the
I'm
shirts.
super in, dude.
Okay.
I put it on this morning. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yeah. So thank you, Finn. And the Twisted Fork people.
Where's your medal?
I don't know. I got DQ'd because I took a
Did
rock.
you take a drink of the Rockstar?
No, I cheersed it. I cheersed it with Finn and then cracked it open.
I think you're okay.
So maybe I didn't take aid. I just carried extra weight for 50 yards.
So you're not dying that you didn't get a medal?
Oh, that's funny. You can tell the backstory, bro.
I am. This keeps me up at night.
I was so happy with the event, and I'm talking to everyone, and the vibes are up. And I talked to Finn a couple times. And I talked to this guy and that guy and this girl. And I went over and said hi to Bree at the NAC station and got my. I was loving it, dude. And I was like, okay, cool. I got to go to a basketball game. It took 2 days to sink in that I was like, oh, I wonder what they did for finishers medals. I could care less. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. Give me a dope shirt and a bib. I'm cool. That's it. That's all I need.
I felt the same way. I either throw them away or I've got a bucket and you find them like hidden behind the sleeping bags in the closet, whatever, and medals everywhere. And I'm like, no one cares about medals.
Who cares?
When we created DC Peaks, we're like, let's do something cool. Custom brand sunglasses. I'm like, it's going to be awesome. We see Jose wearing them. We see Harry Subertis wearing Lauren's.
Harry who?
Subertis. And so we roll that out. And last year, the disappointment of so many runners, I'm like, bro, they care.
You know who was disappointed?
The finishers of the 50 miler who didn't get one.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I thought you were going with the 25Kers.
No, they got them.
They got medals.
The 25K and the 55K got them. And then, so maybe that was our problem. Then the 50 milers cross and they see these awesome medals and they're like, oh, and we're like, actually,
you got sunglasses.
You don't get those. Here's a pair of sunglasses, which are, in my opinion, way better. They were certainly more expensive.
They're dope. Oh,
and they were disappointed. I'm hitting you up after, and I'm like, bro, they were disappointed. And you go, yeah, I know.
Because I was ahead of them.
And they really were.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so now the sunglasses are out. Now we're doing medals.
Hey.
Now we're doing medals. So I don't want to hear any complaining.
Our race, our rules.
No,
we will hand out what we want.
No, we do it for the people.
For the people. Okay. Not our race. It is the people's race.
So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I could care less.
I was so sorry to hear you didn't get a medal, buddy.
I haven't been able to run all week. So, okay, I want to transition into the Tahoe 200 recap, which was quite the race, but I need you to see this because you probably haven't seen this.
Okay.
Go ahead and hit watch again.
Okay.
For you listeners only, Mick is watching Kilian Korth cross the finish line on the destination trails. What's the first thing you see with Kilian? Got it? He's watching Kilian finish the race, and I'm hoping he obviously sees what I saw right off the rip.
Who gave him a hug?
No.
Podium?
No.
Oh my gosh, look at the shirt he's wearing.
Kilian Korth. I laughed, bro, out loud twice. I couldn't believe it. If you guys haven't seen it, Kilian runs the last several miles. I don't know how many sections he ran in this, but he finished in the Cocodona 250 running, what do you call it, sun shirt.
Branding, you know?
So it had me rolling, dude. And I was like, obviously he didn't mean to. But did he? Did he mean to? And there's a little rivalry there. There's something between Destination Trails and Aravaipa, Coconut 250, and the Arizona Monster, Coconut 250, and the Triple Crown.
Sure.
There's something there.
It's competition.
It's competition. There's lots of chatter back and forth. And if I am the race director or someone that works at Destination Trails, I'm dying. I'm dying.
Are you sure?
When he crosses, I'm dying.
Well, hang on. You are a race director.
Right, but we're not in competition with anyone. Cody Draper ran our race in the Bear 100 shirt, and I'm like, dope. That's cool. I don't care. But, like, we don't have a direct rivalry. Someone runs DC Peaks in the Squaw Peak 50 shirt. I could care less.
Yeah, I mean, it's like months apart.
It doesn't matter. And there's no riff. There's no beef.
Let's make one.
There is beef. There is beef, and nobody wants to talk about it, but there is beef between Coconut 250 and Destination Trails. I'm sorry.
Which
but
team are you on?
I'm on Team Kilian Korth.
Which team has blocked you?
Yeah, it's true. Only one of them allows me to tag them in my stories.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Hey, good pick. You picked Kilian to win it.
Yeah, good pick, Mick.
I
How'd that go?
I said no one would be surprised if he won it.
Okay. Well,
What are you? Hang on.
yeah.
Are you saying I'm a chump for picking Pete?
I'm just saying you're wrong and I'm right.
Yeah, I know
I'm
that.
smart and you're not.
So it was not smart for me to pick Pete? Is that what you're saying?
I think it was smart.
Okay, so I am smart.
It was a smart pick. You are not smart. I don't know what happened, but there was certainly something to. We'll cut to it in a second. You guys can hear we interviewed Kilian Korth yesterday. We'll cut it into this for you guys here in a second. But Pete Mortimer had breathing issues. He dropped around mile 80. I saw Chad Bruce DNF'd. Both those dudes did the Monster 300. They both DNF'd. Wes Rittner DNF'd at mile 67, which means he dropped at the 100K mark at Heavenly. One of the most experienced 200-mile racers in that event. I'm not sure if he did Monster 300. I'm sure we can look it up. But there is something. I think there's something to that, dude.
Do you think it's like mentally? Like, oh, God, I can't. I don't want to do this.
Mentally, physically. I guess the breathing and that crap in the Tahoe air.
You know that.
And I think it was worse this year. Like, people were talking about it early, dude.
I mean, Harry went straight to the hospital.
Yeah, and I straight almost died.
Yeah, so I don't know how much worse. Like, that's
I think they got it earlier.
Is
in
that
the
like
race.
kind of taking away from how great that race is? Because that sucks. It's real.
It's creating a stigma that has people worried. There aren't very many things in the sport until you start talking about your breathing that you actually start getting concerned. No one cares that you don't sleep. You get a little injured, you got a niggle, you don't sleep. Everyone's like, you're whatever. You're puking. That's all part of the sport. But when you can't breathe and your life is at risk, people start talking about it, and it's worrisome. And there's something in that Tahoe air that just builds that crap up in your lungs, and you're done.
Of course. You find like what could be the perfect course, and then something's just got to ruin it.
It's weird.
But you know what? Kilian had to breathe the same air.
Yes,
he
he did.
still went out there and whooped him.
And still set the course record by an hour.
Yep.
So right here, we're going to cut to yesterday's interview with Kilian Korth. So go ahead and listen to that. We're going to pop it into the pod right now. All right, here we are. We have Kilian Korth from the Everyday Ultra team. First place winner, overall winner, master, king of Tahoe 200. Kilian Korth, what's up, buddy?
Dude, good to be here with you guys. Feeling as good as you can expect after running for that long.
Well, look, man. First on my list of things we want to talk about, you ran a 52:49. Is that the official time?
Yeah.
My gosh, that is the third fastest Tahoe 200. I know there's been variations of courses, but whatever. They're all pretty
Yeah.
much 200 miles and 35,000 feet of climbing, give or take. What are your first thoughts when you look back on the previous 2 days of adventure in 52 and change hours?
Man, I mean, there's like so much, but my goal was sub 48, and I think that's totally possible. But if and only if you can avoid the breathing problems that so many people suffer with Tahoe. So I have just like, I'm like, man, if that hadn't happened, how much faster could I have gone? Kind of thoughts sometimes, but super satisfied. I mean, I've been working toward a nicely executed 200 miler since 2022 when I first attempted Cocodona, and I've had a mixture of bad luck and some mistakes that have prevented that from happening. So like having it all finally come together is extremely satisfying.
Speaking of the breathing issues, I noticed, yeah, you were coughing here as we were setting up the podcast and the interview, but how did that affect you late into the race? I saw your last segment from Spooner to the finish was like 6 hours and change. Where did you feel that section was supposed to be? Like, how did you kind of clock that in?
Yeah, so I like started really noticing it around mile 100. And then after that, like I had a pacer from 100 to 130. So that 50K still managed to have a solid elapsed pace, like sub 4 miles an hour, which I was pretty happy with. But then after that, it was just like the oxygen governor was on the whole time. Any slight incline, it was just brutal going uphill. And it was frustrating because my legs felt good, but I just couldn't move any faster because I couldn't, deliver enough oxygen to the brain and the muscles to do so. But that last segment, I mean, everything was feeling pretty brutalized at that point. But I do think that the oxygen issues and the breathing problems do kind of snowball to make everything else worse. So you feel more tired, you feel more sore, you're going to swell more because you're not getting your O2 percentage is probably lower than it should be. So there's just like a lot of other problems that come with that.
So was it right around mile 130 where you felt like a sub 48 wasn't going to happen?
Yeah, pretty much. Like once I turned around at Tahoe City and went up that climb, and I was just so limited, I was kind of like, okay, sub 48 is not going to happen. Next goal is stay on course record pace. So beat Harry's time from last year on the course that's the most similar to this one.
Yes, and you beat Harry by 57 minutes, if I look at it right.
Yeah, somewhere around an hour. And I was pretty happy with that. Yeah, like, he's such an excellent athlete. Like, beating his time on anything is impressive, even if he did have a rough end to the race.
Dude. Well, Kilian, I wish Jake would listen to me more. I was trying to tell him before this thing, like, there's no shot that he doesn't win this.
I remember that happening. Yeah, that's how the conversation went down, wasn't it, Kilian?
Yeah, that's what I remember too. Like that's why doing my shakeout run, I just had like a little extra fire in the belly. Was the Mick doubters.
Mick doubters.
This is twice. I just want to point this out. This is twice this has happened.
With him.
With him.
Mm-hmm.
Kilian, I've learned my lesson, my friend. I'm sorry. You were right. I was wrong.
I mean, you should just continue to pick against me.
What's that?
You should just continue to pick against me, though, because it works out well for me.
I mean, I did say I'm cheering for you.
You know how many people win and then are just come back with like, that was perfect. Don't ever pick me.
He texted me and he's all, eat shit.
Kilian, was Mick the first person you texted after you won?
I do think that was the first message I sent. Yeah.
Yes, my dog. See, I love that, dude. Hey, you know what? I am happy for you. I'm super proud of you. You crushed it. Like, it sounds like it was I mean, I know it can't be perfect. You're running 200 miles, but almost kind of perfect, right? Like, you didn't get lost. Like, this was just as smooth as it could be almost.
Yeah, pretty close to perfect. I mean, outside of the things that I could control all went perfectly. Like, nutrition, excellent. I've never had my feet be so good. I had a couple blisters, but nothing painful. Popped them and just didn't even notice them the rest of the race. and I mean chafing good, like all of it. Just I like sleep good. Only slept for 5 minutes and never really felt all that like sleep deprived and tired. I don't know. Things just came together for sure.
5 minutes of sleep. But you did it so fast that you're like, let's just go. So you probably never felt, because like watching it we were hitting refresh on the live tracker. It pretty much felt like you had this the whole time. Did you feel like this is my race to lose? I got it from the gun.
I mean, I'll be honest, not to sound, I don't want it to sound cocky, but I did think that going into the race. Like Jake mentioned it on the podcast where you made your incorrect prediction, and he mentioned my training, and like the training going into this race was as good as it was possible for it to be. So I just felt supremely confident. And then, as everything unfolded, I'm just I just felt incredible all the way up to mile 100. And so, yeah, I was feeling, this would be my race to lose. But I mean, kudos to second place, because I basically got like 14 miles ahead of him, and then he caught me a little bit in the last two segments. But for a lot of the race, we kind of went the exact same speed. And so I knew that I couldn't, let off the gas pedal at all, because he's, relentlessly pushing forward. And so there was still enough pressure coming from behind me that I never really felt like, oh, I can kind of ease off if I needed to.
Yeah, you never really put it into cruise control at all. Just was the motivation once you got such a big lead, was the motivation the course record? Is that what kept you just cranking in and out of aid stations quickly?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I said this going into it, but I didn't just want to come and win Tahoe. Like I wanted to come and win in a time that was impressive, Like I wanted to do something like big here. And so I didn't just want to come and like I don't know. I was motivated by much more than just the first place. It was like, let's break the course record. Let's do something special.
And you knew your health was on point after last year DNF with about 50 miles to go. You DNF'd Cocodona. You had, just weird things pop up, but then you'd follow up a DNF with like a win at Mogollon, and then like these just weird things. How did you put all that together to just run a perfect race?
I mean, I think honestly, I kind of look back at those two DNFs as being good things in the long run. Just partly because it got me to do those shorter, faster races. Sort of funny to describe 100 as shorter, but it is, And so I think I came into this year just cardio wise much fitter than I had been previously, because I'd been training a lot of speed work. And so, my neutral pace has increased dramatically from like Tahoe last year, 2024, to Tahoe 2025. And so that was partly what was making me feel super confident. And then just really dedicating myself to training in Ouray in Colorado, which is, high elevation, steep, relentless. And so my peak weeks I was doing huge runs, and I was putting together like the best big runs in Ouray that I've ever done in my life. So it was nice to like have all of that sort of pay off, because until you do it, you still don't know whether or not like your body can handle it. Like after those DNFs last year, there's just that little voice in my mind that's like, maybe this isn't going to happen for you. But man, so it's so good to finally have it all just kind of unfold smoothly.
Well, congratulations, man. I think it's a comeback story, but it's also not. It's a story of like, we're not surprised. We saw the training. We've seen what you're capable of doing. We knew you were more than capable of putting together a perfect race that demolishes the field, and you did that. When did you learn that Pete Mortimer, and I think everyone kind of agreed was the front runner with you as far as like well-known names, highly regarded, big resumes. When did you learn that he had dropped?
Maybe not till like 1:30 or so, like Tahoe City turnaround. I like it was pretty far into the race, and but because I got to Village Green, so mile 100, and I asked my mom, my crew chief, and I was like, how far ahead am I of second place? And she said 13 miles, and that was pretty satisfying, and that made me feel happy. But I didn't ask any further questions, and it wasn't until my brother started pacing me that he told me that Pete dropped. So yeah, it must have been Tahoe City.
And then we were talking on the podcast last week, and then over the weekend, Mick and I were talking, and maybe just get your 2 cents on it since we haven't had a chance to touch base with Pete. But him racing and winning the Arizona Monster 300, just throw it out there, guessing that weighing on his body, on his recovery. Do you think that had anything to do with it?
I mean, it can't be a positive thing, like the load from something like that is huge. And so, I mean, even, just doing the Triple Crown, like looking ahead to the next 200s, I'm thinking like it's impossible to optimize for all three. So certainly, excuse me, I don't think he was coming into this as fresh as he could be. But the only thing I've heard is that he DNF'd because of the breathing issues. And so if those got too acute and too severe for him, then I don't know if that necessarily, like, in his mind, would he think that that had anything to do with the monster? Hard to tell,
Yeah. So jumping to the Triple Crown, I'm gonna guess exactly what Harry's Triple Crown time was last year.
I actually don't, but the goal is obviously to beat it. I mean, the courses have changed enough that kind of saying, like, I want to set the fastest Triple Crown time, and like his Bigfoot course, was 193 miles, so there's a difference there. But I mean, the goal is to win all the races regardless. So that's the number one thing for sure.
Yeah, win all three would be absolutely incredible. Yeah, that the Bigfoot last year, a couple of out and backs and a bunch of miles on the road, from what I understand. So
Yeah.
definitely apples and oranges. But after you finish a big race like this and set a course record on this course, how do you start immediately preparing your mind and body to be like, okay, I got to turn around in 7 weeks and hit Bigfoot?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it doesn't start immediately. Like, I'm at least giving myself today to just bask in the feeling of like really executing something well. Like I told my wife this morning, I was like, this is fantastic. Like, I just don't have anything that I'm looking back at second guessing, which there's been a lot of in the past few years for me. So I'm just going to enjoy the feeling for a little bit. But then, I mean, I'm just going to see how the recovery goes, because after all of these races, recovery is a little bit different. I'm still going to be really diligent with my diet and disciplined in all those other facets that have to do, with how your body's going to respond to stuff like this. But I'm sort of viewing the rest of my season as kind of maintenance miles, like the improvement from year to year has been taken care of. And ultimately, I think when you're doing something like the Triple Crown, you just have to accept that, like, you will lose fitness approaching the last race. It's just impossible not to. But try to minimize as much of that as possible while still maintaining strength, maintaining the some good time on feet sort of days, so that you still just have, the structural capacity. But I think I'm just sort of looking at it as like, we're going to do what we can in between here. And if I can actually get weeks in that feel like training, that'd be great. But I'm not going to stress if I don't. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I've got one more question, and then Mick's got maybe a few more things to say. But my final question is, I literally, bro, I laughed out loud when I saw the finish line and I saw you come through the finish line and take first place. I legit laughed, bro, out loud by myself, because you were wearing a Cocodona 250 like thin running hoodie. I was freaking dying, dude. I was like, the we'll call it a rivalry, Aravaipa and Destination Trails, the 200s, the Monster. I'm like, that is actually so funny. And I'm guessing it was not intentional, but maybe it was. Maybe it was a moment of like, you DNF'd that race and you were going to prove everybody. I don't know, but I thought it was super funny when I saw you wearing that in all the Destination Trails videos and posts. He's wearing a Coconut 250 shirt.
Did they plant you?
Yeah, dude, I did not mean to do that. I thought about it like 9 miles out from the finish, and I was like, shit, like I'm wearing this. I actually felt a little bit bad about it, but I mean, dude, I like that sun shirt. That's the one, like they gave that out in 2022 when I first tried Cocodona, and it's my favorite sun shirt. So I needed something long sleeve because it was freezing at night, but that would not necessarily insulating. And then, yeah, I mean, totally not purposeful, but I did think like it's emblazoned on the front, so like all of their media posts are just like free advertising for Cocodona. Yeah, I was that was a little ridiculous.
I thought it was so funny.
great.
Message to all race directors: if you want your runners to wear your shirt in their races, make a cool shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make it
cool
comfortable.
and like functional. Yeah,
Give
it
to 'em
works.
before the race and yeah. Hey, bro, did you back to this race real quick? How long were you staying in the aid stations?
I tried for a max of 10 minutes. At Village Green on my way back, I probably spent 20 because that was my lowest point of the race, and I was like, maybe I'll try to take a nap, and then lay down and couldn't go to sleep, and I tried to make myself vomit to see if that would like clear out any of the breathing issues since it's all upper respiratory, and I know that Mike and Mika both had some success doing that last year, and like none of that works. So then I was just like, God, like I want to be done, and so I left. But yeah, I was going for a max of 10 minutes was the goal, and so my crew would just start a 10-minute timer when I got in, and like it's kind of amazing what you can get done in 10 minutes. Like the first time coming back through Heavenly, I like changed clothes, I ate a quarter cup of rice, I chugged a Celsius, I cleaned my feet, changed shoes, and did my gear check in 11 minutes. Like all of that done. So it was my most efficient race in that regard by far.
Yeah, Jake and I were talking about his time there last year, and he was saying like the amount of time spent at the aid station is where he lost some time that he'd like to make up. So yeah, 10 minutes. Was it the same course as last year?
Exact same.
Exact same course.
It was the same except for an added 1.2 mile loop right at the beginning.
Yeah. So
Oh, really?
at the very beginning,
Wasn't it already over 200 miles?
well, it's 202, but right at the very beginning, instead of taking that single track Congo line,
Yeah.
she decided to wrap them around that road, the big
Oh,
asphalt
yeah.
road.
Just to spread people out.
Yeah, for a mile. So you do a quick mile-ish loop and then hit the single track.
Oh, that's a little rude.
Get a little warm.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't too bad. I do remember you guys talking last year, Jake, you talking about how terrible the finish is to this race. And man, the last 4 miles are just like the worst 4 miles of any race ever. You're just like, it's like steep climbing, it's technical, and then you get to the like air quotes top of a climb, and it's actually not the top because you have to like go up these little rollers.
Oh, those
Man,
rollers.
dude, it's so rough. I cannot like, and then you start playing the game in your mind where you're like, I'm 3 miles away, so I've got less than an hour, and then you start climbing steeply, and you're like, well, now I'm hiking 25-minute miles, so I've got more than an hour. Like, it was so rough.
And then you know it's right below you. You're like, it's right here. I'm gonna start turning downhill any moment right here. See, I wasn't delirious, bro. It's all of us.
His was in the light, so that's at least nice.
Yeah.
Bro, did you hallucinate at all?
Not
No sleep.
too severe, honestly. Like more like seeing snakes that were sticks, and every now and then I would like look up and think I saw a person in the woods who definitely wasn't there. Like multiple times I thought I saw a photographer.
Both of those qualify.
Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know, when I did Bigfoot, I had like real hallucinations, like lots of seeing things. But this one was less intense than that.
Those are pretty great.
Those are awesome. You good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, man, we don't want to keep you from your sleep and your leg compression boots, too long. We appreciate you taking the time. It is Monday afternoon, and we're talking with Kilian the day after he smashed the Tahoe 200. He's in his Airbnb or hotel, just kicking it. But we appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. Anybody looking for coaching, Kilian is the man. You can find him at Run Tough Mindset. He's part of the Everyday Ultra racing and coaching team. He and Joe Corcione do a great job with their athletes. So quick plug for those dudes who also, Joe just finished, I think, top 10 overall, I think ninth. So you and Joe put together a pretty good showing for the Everyday Ultra team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just had lunch with him, and he told me to tell you guys that you nailed it with his prediction because I think you guys said top 7, and he was like, "Yeah, that's about right."
Well, we're dialed over here, bro. We are freaking dialed.
Yeah,
Well, hey,
yeah. You
man,
know,
safe travels home, safe recovery. If we can't get some training miles in July, we will definitely see you up at Bigfoot. Definitely see you up there.
yeah, you're running Bigfoot, right?
Yep, I'll be there. I'm gonna make Mick crew and pace me, and he'll probably whip me real hard through the night and to the finish like he always does.
Nice, dude. Good luck to Mick. That race is harder to crew than it is to run.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
You want to trade?
I'll start training.
Do you want to trade?
No, I'm running 200 miles.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations, dude. I'm proud of you. Good job.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you both. Yeah, it's been fun all these years since winning DC Peaks.
That's right. We have the winner of the DC Peaks inaugural year, Kilian Korth. You're a stud, dude. Be safe. Get well.
Thanks, guys.
See you, bro. Okay, that was fun. That was awesome.
I love that dude.
He's a freaking stud. We reached out. He's driving home today. Today's Tuesday, so we thought let's just get him on the phone real quick. So we got him on the phone Monday, popped it in, had a great interview with him, and you can tell just by listening to him, he is on cloud 9.
Yeah, he should be. That's a great performance. And he went easy on me.
He did. He could have really brought it to you.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny that the first text he sent post race wasn't to his family.
No.
It wasn't to his friends. It was to you and me.
He's like he's running down the last aid station and he's just like, "Make this son of a bitch."
I bet he was thinking about what he was going to text from mile 130. When he found out he was 14 miles ahead
Oh yeah.
with 100K to go, he's just drumming up all the thoughts of what he's going to text Mick.
Can you imagine if it was reversed? If I picked him to like podium and then he DNF'd a race and I just bring it to him? Like, the hell's wrong with you, dude?
Yeah.
Chump. You didn't even finish DC Peaks 50, you idiot.
What was his text to us?
He said, "Eat shit, Mick."
That was it.
Yep. But he gave me a winky face.
Yeah. Less than 1 hour crossing the finish line.
Do you
he
know?
sends us a text. Less than an hour. It's
Bro,
like
I
45
love it.
minutes.
I love it.
Yeah.
That means a lot because we're friends with him. You know,
Yes.
like I'm really just out of the blue. He picks to race DC Peaks 50. He wins our race. We become buddies with him, and I love it.
That was cool. The one thing we didn't get to talk too much about, but I'm going to pull out from the interview you guys just listened to, was I am starting to believe if the race is 60 hours or less and you are in contention, there is no time for sleep.
It's going that way.
You cannot sleep.
He slept for 5 minutes.
And yeah, I mean, I ran it in just under 61 hours, 60 and change. And I tried to sleep, and I probably just needed to get horizontal for a minute. But I wasted time trying to sleep, and then I was in contention. And you watch Cocodona and you watch these other races. I think we've got to find a way to like be safe, but nobody's gonna be sleeping, dude.
You don't need to find a way to be safe.
Pacer.
What are you talking about? It's up to them. That's like UFC fighters.
No, I'm not saying as a race director. I'm saying as a runner.
No, as a community, whatever. Like UFC
don't
fighters, they cut all this weight. It's terrible for their body. They want to do it. They can do it. If you want to run one of these races and not sleep, go for it, dog.
And maintain strength.
That's on
and
you.
Cognitive
Yeah, that's part of the strategy.
awareness.
You're
Yeah.
probably not going to maintain all of that.
So
That's the risk you take.
So going into Bigfoot,
You're not sleeping.
I'm gonna have.
It's a slower race.
I'm gonna
right?
have the same strategy. If I'm tired, I sleep. If I'm not, I'm rolling. That's it. That's the strategy.
Yeah, for sure. You can't make yourself sleep.
No,
And
waste of time.
so I suppose he was taking 5 to 10 minutes per aid station.
yeah,
If you wanted to go Courtney Dauwalter and do 1 minute per aid station,
yeah.
then you could afford to sleep for 10 minutes somewhere.
I mean, Harry affords to sleep, and he crushes.
Yeah.
I mean, the old sentiment of everybody's different and everyone's different. Okay, sure, it's true. But I think if you want to podium these multi-day races, plan on no sleep.
Very little.
That's where it's going. Yeah. It's not where it's going. I think it's there. I think it's there. The dude that took second, Ian Hayashi Jones, bro, he ran a 56:05. His first ever 200.
He ran a what?
56 hours and 5 minutes. 56, dude. In his first 200, and according to Ultra, his fourth Ultra.
Okay. Wow. Good job, Ian.
Yeah, dude. And then third place, Dylan Leppert, 57:10. That's a very fast podium.
Yeah.
Very fast. The women's.
Speaking of very fast,
Annie Hughes. Annie Hughes, Lauren Jones, Manuela Villaseca. They went like roughly 3, 4, 5 in the top 10. They all topped 10, and then Joe Corcione took 9th overall, 6th male. So we were very close in our predictions.
Yeah, it's like what we said.
Very close. We got Kilian. Well, I got Kilian.
We totally did.
We got Kilian. But I mean, Ian, I had no idea. Dylan, I don't know. I mean, it's tough to pick these podiums.
Hard to pick first 200 miler, fourth ultra to go 56 hours in this.
Yeah, no one's picking that. Even he ain't picking that. So, did the Tahoe 200 have a live stream?
It kind of did.
Because on Kilian's story, someone was like posting to his story what looked like live stream.
I watched it.
Okay?
I watched it was a phone I think that was Heavenly.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true. It was somewhere that would look like a lodge. And there was road.
Okay.
So it looked
Yeah,
like an
yeah.
aid station or something.
Okay.
And then they showed him, and then they showed a couple of like pre-race interviews, and then they looped it.
And then they had Did they have a?
Then they looped it again. Then they looped it again.
Well, because they had a link on Destination Trail's
Yeah, I clicked
website.
it. It took you to this freaking loop.
Yeah,
bro.
I went to it and it would go to YouTube and then just nothing was there.
Yeah, I found the live stream. That was probably I don't know.
That was not.
It was like it was live once. It was live
At one point in time, it was live.
It was live, and then it was looping. I don't know how long it was because I watched. I had it on for probably like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Watched some of the interviews, and then when I went back again, it was just the same thing over again. I'm like, I'm out.
Bye. So, where are you at on this live stream thing? Like, do we need it? Do you want it?
I love it.
So,
I don't like to sit there and watch it. I just
Yeah.
like it on in the background so
Yeah.
I can look over and
hear a few things.
yeah, or if
see a
it's
few things.
I will watch the end. You give me like the last half hour of UTMB or Western, I'm watching that, dude. You get
Yeah.
the drone, you get the leaders going down towards the finish. You get that at Cocodona too.
Well-
I like it.
Well,
People, there are 10,000. Wasn't there 10,000 listeners or watchers? I mean,
viewers? Yeah, dude. I mean,
on
I don't know.
Cocodona.
I go back and forth between live coverage, like getting reels and posts up fast as you can so people can follow your race. I think that versus live stream or both. I mean, it's all very expensive and very time consuming. But I'll say this about I clicked on the Tahoe 200 live stream and it went to YouTube and then there was just nothing there. And I was like, cool, Kilian's leading. And I closed it.
Yeah.
That was a wrap.
That-
So I feel like in order for the live stream to be effective, You gotta go all the way and do the whole thing. But you also need the runners who people want to follow.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you gotta have the names.
You do.
So it's kind of both. So if you don't have the names in your race, let's just call let's take Tahoe 200 for example. Mika Hughes drops. Annie Hughes is kind of the only big female name. Kilian and Pete were kind of the only bigger-ish names people knew that were going to be competing. If you are the race director or you're Candace, are you even like, there's no reason to invest in this?
I don't know how much it's worth doing. It's a lot of work. It's expensive, but that's where you get the sponsorship money. When you have 10,000 people viewing your live stream, that's an opportunity for revenue. So if you're not going to get any revenue from a grid that tells you who's in the top 10.
No.
The runner tracking. So that's why you probably, I mean, I guess the other idea would be just to have a live stream with no commentating, way less that goes into it. It's much cheaper, but then it's just not as cool.
Yeah, then it's like, whatever, I'll just watch the Instagram posts.
Well, you know what I don't care about at all?
What?
The map with 50 million little dots of the runners.
Same.
I don't care at all.
I don't ever look at the map. I just go leaderboard. What time they went to the aid station.
Yeah.
How far are they from the next person? I just quickly do the math, and I'm like, oh, they're 40 minutes ahead.
You could do that better. You could make it so that, like, I don't want to have to, on my phone, remember that they're on this line and then scroll over to them. And I guess you got to go into the runner, you know, profile.
I don't even do that either.
So you could make that smoother if you wanted to put some money into a website or whatever software.
Again, it's just money and time. Everybody's got plenty of both.
Well, that's probably cheaper to do than a live stream.
Yes. Okay. That is Tahoe. That is the first of the 3 Triple Crowns. So congrats one more time to Kilian and Annie Hughes for winning and carrying the torch forward to the next big 200. Squaw Peak 50. Zach Garner wins in fast fashion.
Surprise, surprise.
In an 8:06.
8:06.
Bro, he now holds the 2 fastest times ever at Squaw Peak.
What did he do ours in?
Sub 8, 7:50s change. Yeah. Sarah Kraut.
Wasn't it just hot?
Bro, her name is Sarah Kraut.
Okay.
There's no way. Yeah. Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut.
Her whole life. There's got to be, unless that's her married last name. She's from Montana. Her name is Sarah Kraut.
Sauerkraut.
Sarah Kraut. She wins. They both gladly accept. Zach Garner ran a 7:47 DC Peaks and an 8:06 Squaw Peak. So, as we have said for years, our courses are very similar. Very similar in time, in elevation, and all that.
I've seen people with closer times than.
I'll say the biggest difference, I mean, obviously there are different parts of Utah, but Squaw Peak is almost always freaking like 90 degrees.
It was hot.
Hot.
Yeah.
The last several years, hot.
But they have 8 miles of paved road. That should speed you up.
Yeah, at the end, you're tired. It's hot.
Well, you got some
afternoons.
No. You have some at the start. You have some going up.
You got a couple miles at the start. Yeah.
Going up to the what's that golf course?
Mm-hmm.
Halfway. It's the halfway point.
Yeah.
Some and then the
Hobble Creek,
and then the finish.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a bunch.
But you're climbing right there, so it's not like it's going to be super fast mileage there.
Yeah. So, Sarah runs the 3rd fastest ever time. Here's my takeaway from Squaw Peak this week. A bunch of local people that we know, and we'll name drop them all real quick here. Andrea Christensen, Mackenzie Bartholomew, sorry, not Mackenzie. I'll get to her. Steve Summers, Jason Renfro, Bill Hyatt. People who've raced this thing 6, 7, 8 times. I think it's Andrea's 5th time.
That's their hood.
She took 2nd. This is their backyard.
Yeah.
Okay. I read some of the words on their Stravas, and if I'm reading in between the lines on their posts, like what's happening to the Squaw Peak 50? Like some of them were writing things like, my last, I don't know if I want to do these long distances anymore. This was really, really hard. It's kind of
Swan song.
yeah, it feels very much like that race might be winding down after 35 years or whatever it is.
Well, I was there. When was I there? A few years back.
2019 when I raced it.
Yeah. There was a lot of people complaining about the course marking and the food, and it's like, this is not me. I'm just telling you what runners that year told me. They're like, it feels like they just don't care. Like it's whatever. Go run it.
So here's my takeaway from this weekend when that was racing, which has been around for 30-something years, okay? And then Twisted Fork has only been around a few years, took like a 4-year hiatus. Finn resurrected it, brings it back. Finn brings in, I don't know, 30 elite athletes. There were Nike runners all over the place, dude, like at every distance. And he brings in the media. He brings in an army of freaking coverage to spit out just dope content. Squaw Peak, I don't think even has an Instagram account. Which, to each their own, is old school trail running still cool? Or is it like, no, dude, that's lame?
Oh, this is interesting. That's a good question. Like, people like that novelty with Barkley, but I heard complaints about the old school of Wasatch. So did you. You heard those complaints. Oh, yeah. And it's like can we just talk about the real reason we're here? NBA. When the Utah Jazz sold to Ryan Smith, he brought on a fresh look, young, just a different vibe, and it did bring some excitement. Mm-hmm. He's getting shit changed downtown and just doing really cool things.
Team still sucks.
He's rebuilding it. Hater. So that's I can see totally Finn doing that.
You see where my head's at, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's still a group of ultra runners. We'll call them the Carl Meltzer types. They sleep at the start line in their Subaru, and they wake up and go run. They don't carry headphones. They don't want a phone. They don't care about GPX. There's still that breed in the space, which, I mean, the godfathers of trail running, of ultra running, right? Is that dead? Is that like a dying breed?
I would say it doesn't seem to be going great for them.
I mean, you look at that weekend in Utah, one weekend of many in our sport throughout the world, and you get to compare Squaw Peak, been around 35 some years, Twisted Fork, let's just kind of their first year, but not really, resurrected after a 4-year break. What race do you want to go do next year if you're picking between Twisted Fork and Squaw Peak?
For sure, I would go to Twisted Fork.
Why?
Because, well, I mean, it is fun. You could just go run the route.
Yeah.
You could just go do that on your own. Mm-hmm. But that's not as fun as the vibe and all the people and the party. Like, otherwise, just go do it yourself. You're looking for something.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if Finn has created this cool, fun event and all these top runners are there, and I'm like, dude, that's what's up. That's where I want to be. I would for sure pick that. And I like Park City trails.
Yeah. And if you're not a runner and you want to catch vibes and just see or maybe you're not racing that weekend, but you are a runner and you're probably not hanging out at the Squaw Peak finish line.
I've done that multiple times.
And it's fine.
It's fine.
The river's fun. The park's
Parking
cool. It's shaded.
sucks.
Parking blows. Going up a little bit up the canyon. But if you're going to go hang out and just catch vibes, You got to go new age where like it's fun, it's a party.
Yeah, you know how many times I've been to the finish line at Wasatch?
Wah, wah.
Once.
When I was there.
Yep.
Why? And what?
Because
what are you saying from that?
It's nothing. I mean, it's better than you, Ray.
Yeah, a cone.
Yeah.
Ray has 2 cones. This is the finish line right here. Just cross these 2
So
cones.
people could easily be like, then you're not a true, and I'm like, cool, then I'm not. Then maybe I'm not. That's fine. But I'm like, I want the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I like the top runners, and I like the live stream and
Cameras and media and
it's a
music
party.
and a live MC and
Yeah, it's a good way for me to just get a little taste of that because my ass is not going out to a club. I've been to enough bars for everybody in this building's lifetime. And so if you want to go and have a little party and a little fun and talk to people and mingle and all that stuff, that's a better vibe. So if I'm not the true, then you're not a real fan of trail running. You do it for the wrong reasons. Cool. I'm signed up for Javelina.
that's a party.
Why is everyone signing up for that? Because they make it fun.
1,000 people in the desert. 1,000 runners, right?
Just in the 100-miler. And that was when I signed up. There's probably more now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was cool. I'm not sure where we're going with that, other than like there is clearly old school and new school in the ultra space now, and it is as clear as day to me. Like, you're either that or you're that, and I think that one will win out. I think one of them will win out. I think that the new era is going to take over.
So how are we got to up our game then in ours?
Like, you got to bring it as a race director. You got to bring it if you want to like build a following and build a big race for a long time and fill the stands, as they say, sell out.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out a way to implement like more boobs.
That drives traffic always.
That's the only thing I can think of pretty much all the time.
That's the only thing. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
I'll line it up.
You'll figure it out? Okay. Twisted Fork recap then. Kareth Arnold, Sarah Cummings, Lauren Peretz podiumed. I want to say that was our podium, dude, but I don't remember. I know we picked Kareth Arnold, but I don't. I remember you rattled them off real quick. I swear you said Sarah Cummings and Lauren Peretz.
Run it back.
It's cool. All 3 of them are moms, and they're standing on the podium. And Lauren Peretz is a gynecologist.
Oh, that's fun.
I didn't get a chance to ask her about any trampolining.
About the trampoline.
But she did take 3rd. The men's at the 69K, Adam Loomis, Grant Barnett, Gavin Pryor.
Adam Loomis, dude, it was like a tight race until it wasn't.
Yes, he said he ran like 30 miles with Grant.
Yeah, there was a...
And then he won by like
13 minutes?
Yeah,
Like,
10 plus minutes.
Homeboys running, what was that, a 7.5 minute mile?
Did you see Grant and Gavin at the finish
Oh,
line?
1 second?
Grant was running towards the finish line, brushing off his shoulders, like dusting his shoulders, and looks over his shoulder. Gavin is full sprinting. And if there was 5 more yards, Grant takes 3rd. And he bumps into a cameraman.
They didn't hold hands and walk across the finish line?
It wasn't as cute as holding hands. Thank you, Grant. We'll still be friends with you because you didn't hold hands with 3rd place.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a really cool finish.
That's you're saying there's video of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Finn's got a couple cameras at the finish line.
That's the stuff
he posted a couple times. Yeah, it was awesome.
Cool.
All right. The DC Peaks riddle for this week: where crimson wins above the land and Logan Canyon stretches grand. One tree stands proud to guard the view. Beneath its roots, gold waits for you. Dun, dun, dun. Good luck, you gold seekers. This week's previews, we are going to cover Broken Arrow. Bro, have you looked at the Broken Arrow races?
No.
So Broken Arrow is in Mammoth, California, which is Tim Tollefson. It is a Golden Trail World Series event. So all the dogs are showing up pre-Western States as well.
Yeah.
1 week from Western States, you have Broken Arrow. And I couldn't believe the names in these races, dude. They've got a bunch of distances. But in the 23K, El Hussein, Patrick, Philemon, Remy, Bonet, Christian Allen.
That's fast.
Like insanely fast. Bro, Christian Allen won Finn's 15K, Nike athlete. I was mostly impressed with his mullet.
Ooh.
Dog got a mean mullet.
Grant Barnett's a little
Oh.
jealous.
I'm sure Grant's jealous of Christian's mullet. It is tough, dude. I'm hoping that mullet gets him anywhere near El Hussein, Patrick, and Philemon.
El Hussein.
Yeah. That race is going to be so dope.
He's going to win it.
And I'm pretty sure they live stream it. If not, they have mad coverage. So I'll be watching that this weekend. It's on Saturday.
Okay.
They also have two other very, very intriguing distances. The Ascent.
That's a distance?
The Ascent. Which is what, 1 kilometer, right? It's a VK, vertical kilometer. Sprint up a mountain for a kilometer.
Oh, that's what they're doing?
Is Jim Walmsley going to race? Because he's on the start list.
Oh, my. That would be so fun to watch.
Bro, the names on that, Kilian Korth, Jim Walmsley. That's like a great
David
little,
Sinclair.
yeah, great little tune-up 1 week out from Western.
Oh.
So the Mammoth, speaking of parties, no Jim? Jim is out, which would make sense. He's not going to go there and then hurry and race the VK and be like, oh, yeah, I'm not
Ryan
racing.
Montgomery.
So Kilian Korth, David Sinclair, Patrick Kipngeno, Philemon. So Philemon's going to race the Ascent and the 23K from what this says. Maybe he'll change his mind. I don't know. Aubrey Meyer, Ryan Montgomery. So these dudes are some of trail running's very, very best. And they're going to race a kilometer vert. How fast can you run a kilometer straight up a mountain? I don't think I could run really any of it. I'd have to hike it.
What?
But they're running it in minutes.
Wait, what? What's the
VK.
What's the vert?
36.
Patrick did it in 36 minutes, and Walmsley took second in 37 minutes.
It's how I don't get it. How much are you climbing? So how much distance?
So
Whatever it takes to get to a kilometer in vert.
it's probably, I would guess that it's
So
around.
it's whatever distance it takes to get to a kilometer?
Yeah, but I'm guessing it's around, a kilometer of vert.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it's, 2 miles?
That's
Yeah.
like Grandeur-ish.
It's very, very much like Grandeur.
That's what Mountain Marathon is.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're just.
So it's going to
but
take
it's not
them
back
30...
down. The finish line's at the top.
30...
36.
No, they'll do it faster than that.
It was that dude, bro, Patrick, that with 36, and
Okay,
Jim
well,
was 37.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm wrong. I was going to guess like 34. So that's not going to happen.
I don't think they can shave that much time.
Yeah, I would agree. That was just what I was guessing.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch. The 46K in the men's division, Eli Hemming, David Sinclair. Do you recall, Mick, our conversation a few weeks back when I said who the best 50K runner in America was?
Yes, I definitely do.
I picked Eli.
And I picked David.
And here we go at the showdown. They're showing down at a 46K.
Okay, let's go. I look forward to David Sinclair winning this.
Yeah, David just raced something last weekend, and I think he's coming off a little niggle. He's been biking. Now he's running.
Oh,
So just a little caveat there.
wait, we got to pick the kilometer.
Who's going to win?
Don't scoot past that.
Okay, let's just pick a winner.
Do you dare to pick against Kilian in something like this?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I don't think I do.
Who's faster, Patrick or Philemon?
Kilian.
Okay, you take Kilian. I'll take Patrick.
Okay,
Bet.
let's go.
Okay, the 46K. There was someone else the other day I was thinking might be our best 50K athlete. Patrick won last year, so he's defending.
Oh boy,
I'm going to take him again.
yeah. he's scary.
Yeah. Eric LaPuma, Trayson Knopp, USATF Brosifs. I mean, Eric bowed down, but he was on the team. But those dudes are on the long trail team. They're in it. So, to what I was just saying with Twisted Fork and Squaw Peak, Twisted Fork very much has a Broken Arrow vibe. Multiple distances, but not crazy distances. Not a 50 miler, not a 100 miler. Distances pros can get done in 6 hours or less. Fast.
Not Cirque Series fast, but
Right.
Yeah.
And then, he's got the 15K, but still. And then you bring in all the big names. You bring in all the big names of pro trail runners, not 100-mile experts. But
Yeah,
you bring in
that's
fast pros.
it's interesting because like Logan Peak Marathon.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get the big runners there.
No, but because you got to have the connection that a Finn or a Tim Tollefson have direct access to the big names, the big brands, to make it, to put it on their schedule. There's no coincidence that there were that many Nike athletes at
I know.
Twisted Fork.
It's who you know.
Yeah.
Park City's very fun though.
Yep. And a Mammoth, I've heard, is super awesome. Like, awesome town. So, we may have to make a trip out there one of these years to catch the vibes at Mammoth. So, on the women's 46K, Grayson Murphy, Jennifer Lichter, I don't know, bro. Bailey Kowalczyk, she's on the U.S. team. Emily Schmitz, Claire Rhodes. I don't know who to pick. Eli Hemming's wife, Tabor Hemming.
Roll Bailey.
Yeah, we roll with Bailey.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to jump to our last topic, which is the preview of Lavaredo.
Okay.
Look at this jacket once again. I feel like I would bust it out. You know, I bought this jacket like 14 years ago, and I just had it because I felt like one day I'd wear it on a podcast.
The is that the right fit?
What are you saying, man?
I don't know.
Too small?
A little small.
How about that? If I stretch it out a little?
Your arms have grown.
My arms, yeah, they're excited to see you.
That's a nice jacket.
Thank you. So, Lavaredo has, I think, 5 distances. 15,000 runners will be there
Whoa,
this weekend.
bro.
15,000? That's like
That-
the Delta Center.
Yeah, that's a lot going on.
The Delta Center, I think, is 19,000 and change. But yeah, 15,000 runners.
What
From-
the hell?
120K, 80K, 50K, 20K, 10K, something like that. 30K, I don't know. Something like that.
How much are these people paying to run this?
I think I paid like 350 euros or I don't know.
They're smashing it.
Yeah. Yeah. UTMB got it down. They've got it down. Yeah. There's a bunch of interesting little stats that I got, but there used to be 26 U.S. men running the 120K that I'm running, and now there's only 21. Had a few dropouts. But the big names, Ben Demon and Tyler Green, are going to be in the men's. They're the only U.S. elite men on the list. So, obviously, the big question is, can I U.S. podium this race? Based on UTMB index score, Richard Cook and Matt Marino have index scores close to mine, and bib numbers close to mine, I think is how they do it.
Oh, so
they
you
put
actually
in,
got a shot at this?
They put you in waves
Yeah.
based on your index score, and your bib number gives you a wave or something. I don't know. Maybe.
I was hoping you'd take top 20 for U.S. men, you know?
I should go top 21. There's got to be one person I can beat, or one person will DNF and I'll beat them.
Yeah, you go top 20.
Dude, top 20 men in a race that has 3,000 runners.
Put that on your resume.
I can't wait to go top 20 men.
Just leave out the U.S. part.
Top 20 U.S. men. I'm in. You know, we did skip over it in the very, very, very beginning, but I just need to make this claim. At the Twisted Fork 30K, I passed a female runner with less than a mile to go. I freaking podiumed. I took F3.
Yeah, you usually do.
I took F3 at the Twisted Fork 30K, and I didn't get to stand on the podium.
Oh,
What's up with that?
you gotta identify.
Oh, then I'm in.
Yeah, then you're in.
I identified for Saturday.
Keep your beard. Keep that Adam's apple. Just go up and be like, "Yo, Jake Kilgore, woman,
Keep that
Give me that-
Adam's apple.
give me that podium."
Yes. So I did podium on the right where we.
You know what?
thought-
Congratulations, Jake.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know what? You deserved a medal and you didn't get it.
Thank you. Thank you. So I don't know what to expect with this race with over 3,000 runners. I don't know if it's 3,200 or some crazy number in the 120K. I have no idea. But my pick to win it is Ben Demon. I didn't pull a whole list of all the elite runners. I did pull it.
You're picking a U.S. guy to win this?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Scott, click on that link right there. No, but down one more. No, the one up above. Sorry. Yep, click on that.
Those Europeans are just crazy climbers.
Okay, well let's do a quick.
And you got some vert.
Yeah.
You got, what is it?
Hit that men's right
You
there.
got
Hit
like
the men's one.
17,000 feet of climbing?
Yeah, look at this. Look at this men's list. Here's your men's elite list. Ben Demon is the highest UTMB index score at 895. Bernat Marmasol, France.
Ben
Jonas
can-
Russi,
Ben
Switzerland.
could do this, bro.
And fourth, according to UTMB index score, Tyler Green. Then Josh Wade. And then a bunch of Europeans.
Yeah, I'm looking at these.
So those top four, one of those top four will win it.
The French guys scare me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm picking a podium, I'm Ben and then Benat and then either, and then probably potentially Tyler Green. I have no idea what kind of shape he's in. But any of the Italians. Andreas, yep.
Yeah.
Retere.
Home. Italy.
Aben Ferrari. He's probably fast. Tobias Geiser.
I bet he wears red shorts.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's not sponsored.
Yeah, Ben. He's not. He doesn't have a team. Ben Demon does not have a team.
Well, what has he done? I've never heard of him.
Everything. What,
No.
bro? He is awesome.
I've never heard you talk about him ever.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, but he wins everything.
He does-
Everything.
He doesn't win everything that we talk about.
Yeah. I don't know where he lives. He DNF'd UTMB last year, like everyone seemed to DNF it. He was at Le Grand at Diagonal de Faux click on that.
Sorry, I'm not a
He took third.
connoisseur of European runners.
It's okay. He's American.
He lives in Europe. You claim Tyler Green as Utah.
So he took third in Diagonal Defoe. Defoe? Yeah, he was right there, dude. This dude's
Wait. How far behind Mathieu Blanchard was he?
1 hour. 1 hour, 20 minutes.
Blanchard is something special.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm picking him to win it. I don't
Okay,
care.
call.
Yeah.
I've heard. I love him.
So I do think that the Americans go M1, F1, because obviously we're both going to pick Courtney to win the female 120K.
Yeah.
Okay. The only other female in the 120K is Alyssa Clark.
From the U.S.
Yeah. There's 2 U.S. women. There's 8 U.S. women in the whole race.
In the whole 15,000.
Yeah, and there's 2 elites, Courtney and Elisa.
Okay.
Well, in that race, there's
in
like
that,
3,000.
I see.
But still, 8 U.S. women out of 3,000 runners. Well, only 2 elites. So they call Lavaredo the Queen's race. Must be the queen to UTMB, I guess.
Oh, okay. That's fun.
Yeah, I think it's like the next big dog. In the 80K, notable names, U.S. names, Drew Holman, Noah Williams. 50K, I didn't catch a bunch of U.S. names. I can't remember. I definitely like Tony McCann to
Yeah.
win the women's
Yeah.
and Francesco Puppi to win the men's. And literally, the 50Ks were just stacked with Italians. Like, Italians are just going to dominate everything there.
That's their jam.
I think that's their jam. Yep. So, I'm super pumped, bro, about traveling over there because I'll be able to speak to and have the experience of, you've heard runners that travel, the jet lag, or
Yeah.
how they adapt to it. Sorry. So I'm looking forward to like being able to speak to that and to the steepness of the Alps. Aid station, like
Yeah.
food. It's gonna be an experience.
That's gonna be great. So what? It's how many? 75 miles?
Yeah, so 120K is 75 miles and 19,000 feet
Oh,
of climbing.
19,000 feet of climbing.
Yeah, bro.
Oh my.
So 19,000 feet condensed into a 75 miler is something.
Yeah.
19,000 is hard in a 100 miler.
Yeah.
That's like the Bear 100-ish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Kodiak, as far as I'm experienced. But, yeah, and that was hard. So this is just going to be a lot of up and down and then running into these little towns.
How's your climbing?
I have climbed a lot. Most of my training has consisted of climbing. I did 2,000 feet yesterday, 3,000 feet today. I'm going to do Grandeur yo-yo one more time before I leave. I'm going to do it tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. So probably be listening to this on my climb.
Tell yourself to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, yeah, this is going to be an experience, dude. I don't even know how I got in. Honestly, I don't know how I got in. I told you the story. I was up at 2 a.m. hitting refresh on my phone. Refresh, trying to get in, bing, 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 and I got in. One of 21 U.S. dudes to get in that race sells out in seconds. I don't know.
Ooh.
I got the ultra running gods on my side.
It's going to be an experience.
Dude, did you know, speaking of selling out fast, I was listening to a podcast the other day and heard that Cocodona 250 this year sold out in like 6 minutes or 8 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I believe that.
And I got in. I don't know how I got in.
Because you were on it, dude. Because
I thought it was like a couple
Mike
hours.
McKnight was right. They're going to have to go lottery.
Yeah, they are. They're going to have to go lottery and then leave X amount of spots for elites and invites. Yeah, they're going to have to do that next year. They don't have to do anything, Mick.
Their race, their rules.
That's right. Do we have any quotes for this week to read?
I got some comments right here.
Okay. Mick, why don't you read us a couple comments from the pod?
I got kind of a glare going on.
You want me to
there.
read it?
Yeah, hit it.
Great episode. So this is last week's episode. Okay. Great episode, and I appreciate the shout out, guys. I'm all about the DC Peaks energy. For the record, it took a really strong effort for me and a really rough day for Sam. Vomiting, took a nap on the trail for me to beat him. That dude is fast.
Oh, that's a
That
boy.
was our DC Peaks story. Yep,
Um,
Luke Richens.
Yeah, because when I found out that he beat Sam, I was like, well, that has my attention. Because I've
Yes.
seen Sam in
Yep.
action.
Yep.
That homie is fast.
Bro, you know how many people
But
posted?
he beat him. So guess what? You towed the line and you won.
You won, dude.
That's
fair,
that.
Fair and square, my man. Here's one. Kilgore is the spitting image of Billy Bob Thornton in Landman, but more pissed off. Are y'all going
More
to trail?
pissed off than. Okay.
Oh, are y'all going to TrailCon, man? In Olympic Valley too. A fellow salty RD.
That's funny.
The Neff Pace at the Neff Pace.
Wait, how are you more pissed? He's so pissed off.
I guess I've never seen that movie.
Wait, hang on. He's kind of a little chill and grumpy at the same time. Okay, love that show.
Squaw Valley. Olympic Valley. That's funny. Okay. At Rico De La Vega 4511. Bro, I'm pretty sure we read a comment from this dude last time. Thanks for subject times on the video, finally. So they can scroll right past. Now the prison backstory and Jake's DNA results or native enrollment card. Also got to have a Billy Yang psych circa.
Physique?
Oh, physique circa 2019. Oh, the crop top. To pull off of wearing a crop top.
Oh, yeah, Billy Yang.
Cool. I'll bring my Native American card.
That's none of your business.
Actually, I don't feel safe when you asking me for my
offended
card.
for you, Jake.
Yes, I am going to be offended to that dude. But the prison backstory, it's going to have to wait for the right opportune time. We'll give you some prison stories there. Okay, one more. At Not Your Average Row. Been loving y'all's criticism and truth speaking and finally subscribed. Bing, bing. All right, to that.
Cheers
We'll
to
remind
that.
you. Cheers. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share, love, like.
Sign up for DC Peaks, ultrasignup.com.
Get there. Okay, this is fun. Long episode. Next week, we are breaking down all things Western states. My goodness. Should
Let's
be a lot of
go.
fun. Okay, thank you for joining. This has been another episode of The Next Aid Station.